absolutely terrified. They said, usually at this stage, we've got people off the trolley and running down the corridor, pulling the tubes out my throat and trying to wake me up. I actually think if I hadn't got fit, I might not be here today. Yeah, I'm Gary Redman, 54, CEO of a recruitment organisation, Now Education, Now Careers, the Education RPO, which I've been involved in recruitment for just over 30 years. Passionate about cars, anything Italian, scooters, Lambrettas, Vespas, and generally like an adventure of life. Yeah, my fundraising started 2005 when I was slightly overweight, and when I say slightly, by about 3 stone, and decided I'm going to do this charity bike ride. Went out and bought a bike, went out and bought the Lycra, and achieved Edinburgh to Birmingham in 5 days, which was great. And the weight started coming off. And then from there, did a number of events, did a lot of work with Dreams Come True. We organised a car rally from the UK down to Monaco, again raising money for the charity. I ran the marathon, London Marathon twice for Dreams Come True. In 2015, I went across India from Jaisalmer to Shillong in a tuk-tuk to raise money for the Heart Foundation for Birmingham's Children's Hospital. Yeah, my latest challenge is taking a tuk-tuk from John O'Groats to Land's End. This one is a 4-stroke 200cc tuk-tuk, top speed of around 45 miles an hour. So it's definitely going to be a challenge going through the mountains. And again, we're doing it for Birmingham Children's Hospital, and again for the heart unit for Birmingham's Children's Hospital. The charity is important to me because as we're recording this filming, it's a year to the date where I actually went to hospital to have my open heart surgery. So it's a massive thing for me. And it's the awareness of what equipment that the hospitals need that they can't get. And I feel that if we can make a difference to children's lives at the beginning of their lives, it wasn't around at the time I was when I was born, but if we can make a difference to children's lives, then it's got to be right. So when I was a child, from what my parents have told me, they thought I was born with a hole in my heart, and this was ruled out. And then when I was around 10, 11, 12 years of age, I used to get pains in my chest, which may say in those days it was seen as growing pains, but they never really found out what it was. I'd just been to LA and I ran the LA marathon with some friends, again for his charity. I just walked through the door from LA and I had a letter, and the letter said, you need to get in touch with your doctor. We picked up a heart murmur. So I went in to see a cardiologist and found out that my aortic valve, where you have three valves that are open and closing constantly, only had 2. And they were sticking, not showing properly. So it's like a normal valve in a car. So when the valve closes, the blood's gone out. When it opens, the heart's working. And the problem with my heart was when the blood's pushing it out, the valves weren't shutting to block the blood coming back in. So blood was coming back into my heart and then filling up my chamber. It got to the point that 50% of the blood my heart was generating was going straight back into the heart, making the heart and the chamber bigger. They couldn't understand how I was doing these physical fitness things and having this issue with my heart. Literally, my body had modified itself inside. And they had a heart surgeon supervise the MRI scan, and he was intrigued with what I was doing, how I was doing these things, and told me, do not stop doing what you're doing, because it's basically not keeping you alive, but it's keeping you. It's working, but we do need to operate. I had the operation on the 23rd of November, 2021. They get you up really early, give you a drink of water, no food, and they give you this red dye to go and have a shower. And you have this shower, this red disinfectant. Oh, that's all I can call it, because it didn't froth up like a nice shower. And then they basically shave you, and then you're left there lying on a bed. And you haven't got a clue what's going on. You've got your phone, but you're not in a position to talk to anybody. You'd probably just break down in tears, I think. So you're texting people, or texting your wife, children. And I remember turning around to the doctor and go, can I be honest with you guys? And they said, yeah, of course, Gary. So I'm terrified. So I'm absolutely terrified. And they said, usually at this stage, we've got people off the trolley and running down the corridor, we're after them. says you're quite calm. And then the next thing I blanked out, and the next thing I remember is them waking me up. And I think it was around 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know why, but they were pulling the tubes out my throat and trying to wake me up. The reason we've taken on this challenge to take a tuk-tuk from John O'Groats to Land's End, which, yes, it might seem as fun, but believe me, it's going to be a challenge. I did 60 miles in it to Nottingham, and that was a challenge. So we've got to get tuk-tuk fit at some point. But the main reason is to raise money for equipment. So my condition would have been picked up as a child, not when I'm 54 and having to go through this at 54. If they can find these issues out within the heart quickly, they can make them better quickly, which allows the child to have a normal life. Well, next, obviously, we've got to get prepared for the Tuk-Tuk challenge. We're getting a number of schools involved. We want to get a primary school to design the tuk-tuk for us. So get the children involved. The winning primary school will get £1,000 of sports kit. We've got to get out and start doing some decent rides out, because just turning up and going from John O'Groats to Land's End, it's not like jumping in a car. It's just not. So we've got to start doing some training on that tuk-tuk. I need to get cycle fit. Because if the tuk-tuk does break down, we want to get it fixed, obviously. While it's being fixed, I'm going to jump on a bike and do the mileage on a push bike. So to support the Tuk-Tuk challenge, we have our Just Giving page, which will be shown on the screen. And we're doing it in July in 2023. And really, any support that can be given to us, donations. If there's people out there going through the similar journey that I've been through, we'd love to hear from them. If we can offer them some support, we'd love to offer them some support. Tuk-tuks, when we've been out in it and riding it and driving it, I don't know what you call it, you get a lot of attention. You get a lot of attention. People want to talk to you about it. People want to ask you about it. And we think it's a great way of getting knowledge into people, awareness into people around the amount of people who are born with heart deficiencies. So while it's fun, it'll create awareness. And we're going from one end of the UK to the other. So yeah, we're hoping to build some momentum on the way down. Yeah, mortality is a tough question for me. It's something I think about every day. You actually want to be around. You actually do want to be around. And I think life's for living. And okay, we might all think about death from time to time, but life is definitely for living. And without sounding cheesy, you've got to make the most of what you've got. And it doesn't evolve around being on mobile phones. How many people sit on their mobile phones with their family having dinner and not giving each other time? It's something the change I've made is to try and put that bloody phone down. And when I'm with people, give them all of my time. Not 70% of it, all of it. So that's a big, that's a big thing for me. So with regards to mortality, I just want to try and make every day better. And I actually wake up every day I wake up and go, I'm going to be kind and thoughtful to others today, more than I was yesterday. And I want to do it, but I wake up every day thinking it, because I want to try and be better. So when I found out I needed this operation, you have two choice of valves. So I was pushed down the route of a mechanical valve. The downside to the mechanical valve, which they don't really advise you on, is you can hear it. You can really, really hear it. It ticks. You go somewhere, it's got heart condition, I put no. No, I haven't got a heart condition, I've been fixed. I'm getting on with life. You hear it.